Hello and welcome. I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on a program for comparing tunes for similarity. We did a little bit of work on a. Hello and welcome. Whoops, hang on. I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on a program for comparing tunes for similarity. Last week we worked on something that would generate curves just for kind of a quick one because I was only here a couple days. But we're back to the program we've been working on for a few months now, off and on anyway, mostly on. Okay, let's see. So when we left off, we were working on these things called variant endings. And I think if I don't have any music that shows it, I don't think. No. Okay, so this one has repeats. So this bar, colon, and then down to colon bar says play from here to here, then go back and do it again, and then pick up from there to the end is fine. This one has two repeats. Usually we call that an A part and a B part. Okay, well, the difference is, and let's try Duck River. Yeah, this has them. Okay, so here you play through and you go to the end of the first one. When you hit the repeat bar, you go back implicitly to the top and you play again. But when you hit the one, you don't play that. You skip over it and go to the two and play that. Now, think of songs. Sometimes they might have, they may have 1, 2, 3, 4, any number of endings, but you also might have a situation where the first and third time play one ending and the second, fifth, sixth, and seventh play a different ending. And we'd like to be able to represent that. So if I go to our input standard, you can have the repeats, the bar 1, bar 2 thing, do that. You can also have, well, where do they say this? Oh, here we go. Yeah, you can also say 1, 3, meaning first verse and third verse, or first time through and third time through. You can say 1-3, or you can combine those. So for us, we're gonna start. I think we'll start with ranges. So parse and handle ranges on these things, like 1 through 3. Now, my memory of what we actually did to do this before is a little weak. Let's see. I think parts. Just going by the stuff we have up. Well, our domain's getting kind of filled up here. Okay, we got parts. No, that's not really it. Okay, that's sort of what we have, character to part. That's the A part, B part thing. Okay, this one, okay, yeah, this one says a part consists of measures or a sequence of parts or a repeat where it has parts and endings. Let's go see endings. All right, and endings are a map from integers to parts. Okay, so the first and second endings, ending 1 goes to a part, ending 2 goes to a part. What I'm assuming we'll do for ranges is like 1 through 3, we'll turn it into 1-part, 2-part, 3-part, even though they're the same parts. Okay, so what it's going to take, well, we're going to have to go back to the very outer edge, because this is our input format, and we need to accept 1-3 as being some sort of part specification. We don't do that now, and then we also will need to accept the commas, and again, we don't do that yet. But since that's coming from the input format, that's more in the parser domain. Let's see. Now, which one that's going to be? Well, duration. No, that's note duration. Events to parts, that's conversion. Header parts parser. Well, maybe it'd be better to look at endings and see who calls this? Okay, EventToParts. Oh, now this. All right. Yeah, I'm not totally happy with the way bar lines work, but okay. If it's a repeat start, we got a little bit of work on bar lines. We can ask them if it's a repeat, bar line double, has numbered endings. Okay, endings dot put last numbers and measures. So let's see last numbers. Last numbers is an array of int. Okay, so who's referencing this? It's numbers. Oh, we get an ending with numbers. Okay, good. This. Let's see if we can get to this thing. Ending. Okay, this is event. Right. Event. Event is triggered by the parser. So when the parser figures something out, it sends out an event like an ending number, or ending list of numbers. I think we probably could have just done single int before, but if we find usages of this, we'll find we only ever put one in. Event ending to parts. No line parser. That sounds promising. Okay. Yeah. So we accumulate a number and we only append that one. Okay. So bar line handler. All right. Okay. So we need to find who calls this, but it's private, so it's in this file. Okay, and here you have one or more of these bar line characters followed by 0 or more digits. And bar line handlers are ready to deal with many or 0. Okay, now the new style we want is, I think because this has higher priority, 1-3 is contained in these comma ones. We'll do the range. Okay, so this digit explanation is not sufficient. Let's pull this out. Okay, so let ending numbers equals, let's take this, and then we can use ending numbers here. It's kind of an extract method for grammars. All right. That should not affect anything. We do test. I saw a parser test in there, line parser test. Oh, I haven't run tests yet today, so kind of back from a vacation. All right, but anyway, this gives us a place to work on. If you have any digits, well, right now barline handler is assuming that it's got an array of characters. So this set is the bar lines. This set is the characters. Okay, so sorry, this is the digits. All right, this type is going to change because we're gonna make something more complicated. All right, I think that's just a non-error. It's a style point, and I think the editor deleted the spaces before it finished checking it. All right. Well, that's refactoring. It's minor, but refactoring. We extracted variable. Okay. Now, note line parser tests. Let's get this file up. All right. Well, there's not a lot of ending tests. Okay, here's one. Checks that we'd get the 1 there. So let's add this. All right. With ending ranges. All right. So this, I want to say, if we do the work here, this will be 1, 2, 3. Which my style guide probably likes it more like this. All right, but that should have an A note followed by endings 1, 2, and 3, all being a B note, and a final bar line. All right, this test will fail. It didn't run. Come on, Xcode, wake up. There you go. All right, what's the problem? Well, it'll tell us up here. We finished, but we had extra input. So -3 didn't get parsed because everything is good up to 1, and then the dash is a problem. So that's why I caught it there. Good. All righty. I don't know where it thinks that space is because I sure don't see it. Okay. I can have a blank line. Okay. All right. So now this should really be, we want to allow either digits or digits dash digits. Okay. And so I think because it's repeated like that, that's how we got the digits. The bar line handler code is going to have to change to accommodate whatever horrible type this thing is turning into. Okay, so it's well, if I had to say what it was really, I'd say it's repeated digit, okay, followed by a dash. I think we say match. Boy, it's been a while here. Match and well, do we need the, we don't really need the left-hand side, but we do need the digits. Okay, and that whole thing is optional. Okay, and this is junk. Gone. Okay, so I'm saying if you're going to have ending numbers, well, let's, use our grammar ones. Okay. You have 1 or more digits. Oh, and that goes in front. One or more digits, and then optionally a dash and so 1 or more digits, and optionally include a dash and a string of digits. Okay, and then the problem it has is that's producing another type, and we don't know what it should be. Now, I think because here I've used plus digits, the old one was star digits, so I need to make this optional, so they don't have to have any digits. All right, so the ending numbers is, I made it required more of it in ending numbers, but it still should all be optional. You can have just a bar line by itself, and it should produce a bar line type. All right, now this, okay, well, see, the thing with this parsing style is the type is really painful. Okay, so it's an and then with many one, that's the plus satisfying a character, and then an optional, and a keep right. Okay, so you have to kind of decode these a bit. Where's barline handler? All right, I'm going to copy this in just so I can work from here. Okay, so barline handler. Yeah, if I can squeeze that all in. I guess I'll learn to bounce. Well, no, why isn't it not first? Let's move it up. Okay, now we can kind of see them. Well, more easily. All right, so this is when the ampersand says make it a pair, a tuple. And in our case, the tuple is a string of bar characters and an optional set of ending numbers. So whatever ending numbers is, it's going to be an optional. Okay, it's not going to be characters. Characters will be in there somewhere. Okay, but it's optional for these things. Okay, to match the optional here. Then this is digits and more digits. It may be, well, this is an array of characters. I think it's going to be a tuple with an array of characters and an array of characters. I may be wrong, but I'll make another tuple. Okay. Now this .1, .0 stuff is going to be a little off. But let's see if it likes the type. No. Okay, character to event to expected type. A lot of stuff. Okay. Oh, this one's optional. Right, because this piece is optional. So that second array of characters is really optional. I don't think we can skip it, though. It makes a mess. This tying in these semantic routines is definitely the worst. Okay, looks like I got it. All right, so now this thing is, well, let's pull the pieces out first. So, okay, we pulled out the bar line from this thing .0. Okay, now let's let range is bar lines and digits .1. Okay, type of range is a little more complicated. Okay, it's array of characters, optional array of characters, and the whole thing is optional. Okay, so if not empty, okay, if it is empty, result is event.barline. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that piece. Okay, so if well, I think it's if range is an optional tuple. Let's say if range is nil, return result. Okay, so we're covering the case where there were no digits at all. Okay, this this outer if. Okay. So now I feel like I can, well, okay. I guess we can do guard, right? Guard, let range equal that, else return result. Okay, so if our range is empty, whoops. If this range is the second piece, if that thing is empty, that means all we have is the bar line. Let's just return it. Okay, we've calculated it and return it. Now we got range. Let's let, well, if we've got the range, we know digits exists. Okay, so we'll take digits is string bar lines. Now let's take range dot 0. Okay, so that's this array off here. Okay, if digits is empty, if that range has characters in it, which it probably will at this point, we'll convert it to a number and append that. Okay, now we got to worry about range.1. Let end range is, well, maybe we can do the same thing here. Guard let end range equal range dot 1. Okay, that's the inner optional array of characters. Now, okay, maybe I can optimize this a little. Like maybe this should be star digit. No, it's got to be plus. No, I think that's the way it's got to be. Okay, so in range is there, else, and again we're going to take an early return. Okay, now the type of end range is, that was the second optional, so we're just down to the inner digits, and it's going to look a lot like this one. Okay, so we let end range digits is string of range of end range. Okay, and well, if I mean, we know digits is not empty because of how we got here. I don't think it'll complain. If let number equals int digits, I think we can take the same rule that says if we don't have a valid one, we're just going to ignore that piece. Okay. All right, so we'll just return what we have. Again, lots of ways out through this thing. All right, so now we have the ending range of our digit. Whoop, guard. Okay, and I'll use a different name. Okay, so that's our end range number. All right, so if this was 1-3, well, I don't know, I'm still not quite in the right setup here. Okay, and I think, again, digits can't be empty, so we don't need to. All right, well, let's push through. Okay, so we've got this string. I think here we're just returning it. That's fine. The problem I have is, well, we've captured number, and I think we can still use it. If I take this off. Okay. These digits cannot be empty or they wouldn't have matched. So I'm using a little knowledge of what happened to make it a little simpler. Okay. Digits is string range 0. All right, now we've got number. We probably can't append it yet, is why I'm fussing here. Okay, but we've got number. And by the time we get down here, we've got number and we've got end range number. Okay. And those two, everything in those two ranges should be in there. Okay. Now. Okay, so I think we're gonna oh boy. All right, I'll add a note. Let's see, where's my to-do? We need to handle another case here. Let's handle range is missing or malformed. End range is smaller than start range. Okay. All righty. Parser tests. Okay, back here. Oh, that's the test. We're in the parser. Okay. At this point, we've appended the first number. Let's say it's 1 through 3. We now have an end range. Okay. So let's do for number, oh no, ending. Do I have ending number yet? Ending number. Well, let's just do for number plus 1. Okay, so we did the 1. We've already created that event because it's the first one's always there. Dot 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 means up to equal. All right, end range number. Okay, I guess I can I don't know how you best do these. Probably can just do this. Dot for each. Okay. Now, $0 is the current number. Ooh. Cannot find number in scope. Okay, we'll get that in a moment. All right, if I had it, it's going to be more like this. Okay. I want to append an ending number. Oh no, this is not really. Okay. Too many paths going on. All right. I need the list of all those numbers. So I think I can just, I should be able to make them into an array. I am sure there's a way to do this easily. Okay. Okay, so ending numbers, let's, numbers is this thing. Dot can I just say array of that? From no, I can't really give it a range, can I? Okay. Let's do any number equals this dot reduce. This is too hard, but reduce and given a number and the set of things so far, next and so far in this, well, we should so far dot append next. Okay, so we're just accumulating these numbers. Let's do them all. Okay, so this set is all the numbers from 1 to n, or x to y, and we're reducing them by accumulating them into a list. I could swear there's an easy way to do that, but anyway. And if we had that list, then we want to do something like this. Okay, we want to append ending with ending numbers. Okay, so we're accumulating that list 1, 2, 3, corresponding to the range, and we're throwing it into an ending thing. So what I think should happen, okay, this becomes a guard. We got to make sure that number's legit. So guard, let number equals that, else we're going to return result. And then that comes out, and that indents out, or outdents. Okay. Now, I think this needs to move in here. If the range is not there, then we just do the ending number. Okay. And return it. Okay. If the range is there, then we go on to calculate all these values. Oh, I get them backwards. Really? Oh, come on. Okay. Into result, escaping, result and element. I don't get the problem. Okay, let me cheat. It's not cheating, but I wish I knew it without looking. Swift fill array with range. I got a feeling there's a very easy way to do this. No, that's not what I want. That's a slice. Yeah, that's not going to be what we want. I don't think he's after the same thing we're after. Create an array from a range. Okay, that's good. Well, okay. I thought I tried that. Ending numbers equals array of this. Maybe I was still more complicated. Okay. That method's certainly gotten more complicated with more to come. All right. Well, let's see where we are and then adjust. One failure. Bar 84 bar ending 1. Oh, we need to ending 1, 2, 3. So we got back ending 1. And no other complaint. So it parsed it? It apparently consumed it. There's no other complaints, but it only came back with the first number. All right, let's take a look inside. What did that just do? Okay. Clearly I've messed something up in here. What's the warning? For empty collection over optional collection. Well, that's not really an option here. Okay. Well, okay. It's complaining that I'm doing this, understandably, but I think it really is an optional situation. Okay. So we come in with 1-3, and presumably it's matched them all because it doesn't complain about it from the parser point of view. All right. So I guess I'll just walk in here. I don't think it's that horrendous. Okay, so let's look at bar lines and digits. Bar lines and digits. No, we had it there. Okay. Character 2 values, and this is nil. That's the first one. Okay, I guess from our test, that's this one. We don't care. So let's exit this or continue from here. All right, now it's sum. Thank you. Bar colon. No, is that right? Character 1 and 3. Well, sorry, let's... Oh, okay. I was looking at the old one, I guess. So we have a simple bar line, and then 1 has the 1, and it has the 3. Okay, so I think you would say we're on the right track. All right, we'll step over. Let's look at result. Okay, so result we stick in the first bar line, and then we got to work on the endings. All right. Okay, so now we have range. We believe range is going to be 1. Okay. And I guess if we step over, we'll know number in a minute here. Okay, so the number is 1. Good. All right. Now we've got end range. Okay, so we have some sort of end range, which is true. We do. Okay, it's an array with a value 3. Step over there. Convert that to digits. All right. And now it's the end range number is, oh man. I don't know. Can I edit these? I never do this. End range number. Edit value. Okay, had we done it right, it would be a 3. Oh, okay. Gosh. Edit value. 3, return. No, it's not going to let me. Okay, let's continue. Test failed. Let's run that again. My debugger skills have definitely atrophied with TDD. Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. All right. Well, let's take the breakout and continue. Good. Okay. This is handle ranges of ending numbers. And I don't think I can convince it to produce this type. Just strictly simple array of characters. Because it's the whole expression here that's optional. The fact is we throw away the dash because once we've seen it, we know where we are. And we have these digits. I don't think we can get rid of that. Okay, I hate leaving a warning in, but I just think that's the way it's going to be. All right. Now, we left ourselves a to-do, right? Okay, well, let's capture what we're going on here. March 27th. Okay, this still repeats. Ranges of ending numbers. Okay, I'm happy with those. But we need a case where the range is missing and another one where the range is malformed. Okay, I guess the range end number is missing. Right, let's do that test. Okay, ending range and missing number. Let's take this off. I don't think we need to worry about that event anymore. We'll just do the simple bar line, 1 dash, dash. And I think what we'll see is ending 1. So we're being, it's hard to know exactly what the right thing is, but they definitely usually want you to be pretty forgiving. And I guess I'll just say, yeah, that must just be an ending 1. It'll be visible somewhere, but you'd have to be with what I want to make sure is with ending in range missing number, just uses start number. Okay, well, we'll try and explain it a little. Uses only start number. Oh, I got a space in there. All right. Create event. Bar lines there should only be ending 1. It should still keep. Well, will it keep going? I don't think it'll parse. And I'm kind of okay with that too. How about I think that's the real thing. My assertion is going to be wrong. Do we have an assertion like that? I'd like to. Events. Oh, it does look for that. Okay. We'll get the unexpected input in the events call. All right. It may produce this events too. Again, you're trying to be somewhat forgiving, but yeah. Okay. Oh, it didn't run. Okay. The parse error is failed 3, expected character in 0 through 9. Okay, that's fair. Okay. Oh golly. I don't know if I can catch that with this. Oh, it throws that. Okay, so we need to make sure it throws with this error message. Okay, so we can do a try catch. Try do with this catch. Okay. I guess that's just a string. Not quite sure I'm doing this right, but these things should not be here now. I don't do any catching? That seems odd. I have to say the name of this thing. I don't want to declare a type. I'm just throwing strings, which is somewhere I've said they can be. Is it like this? Let's do it this way. Is user validation error? Okay, that'd be fine. It's not quite what I'm doing. Ah, that's what I want. I presumably have done this. I have not. How do I do a throw? That's what I've done. Let's do this kind of thing, I guess. So I'm throwing a string. That should be okay. And then his example, he catches it. Just error at localized description. Okay. Only works for errors with one case. That's really what it is, I guess. Okay. Good. Okay, initialization of immutable value events. Yes, that's fair. Okay, we don't really need any space there at all. All right, so try to parse it. When it fails, we expect to see this message. Expected our character in 0 to 9. Okay. Good. Ending numbers with missing end range report a syntax error. Okay. That covers this one. I guess it covers both of these. They kind of go together. All right, let's see what that is. And then end range smaller than start range. Okay, we can make a test like that. Ending range smaller than start range does something. We haven't said what. Okay, again, I think we could ignore that. And let's make this 9 to 3. Okay. And I think, well, we don't need these first two anymore. I think we could say this would capture some of it. it's this thing of how forgiving do I want to be, and I'm willing to take the easy path out too. So it's let's say ignores end range. So we do want to see the event for 9. I don't know. Maybe we don't even want that. I think maybe it reports an empty range. Empty range. And I think that's the case. Okay, whether good or bad. But I think that's a kind of reasonable thing to do. You're really supposed to be in increasing order. It's just that it's silent is a little obnoxious, maybe. Okay, range requires this. So we do know. Okay. And that's a fatal error. I hadn't realized that would be true. I just assumed it would give me an empty range. All right. So we get to choose what it does. In which case, I think I'm going to make the case that we'll take what we got that looks legitimate and not try and make sense of it. Or we could report them all there. Maybe that would be better. They're legitimate numbers. They just happen to be out of order. If they said 9 to 9 equals okay. All right. Well, let's give myself a little easier typing here. 9, 8, 7. Okay, this should fail still. It's going to blow up the same way. Okay, so if well, I think I could do kind of a ternary there. If number is less than or equal to end range number, then an array from one end to the other. Otherwise, an array from end range number up to number. Okay, so number less than or equal to end range number is okay. We'll go through this branch. Otherwise, it's greater. We'll count down. Well, what do I know? What's the 7, 8, 9? Oh, ending smaller. Ending range smaller. 7. I don't quite believe that. Have I got this thing backwards? If number is less than or equal to end range number, so our case it's 9 less than or equal to 7, no. Then we should do end range number to number. Oh, I guess it would still be in order. We're starting at the smaller one, going to the larger one. Okay, well, that's legit. Is it legit? It's not common. I don't even know if it's really a defined thing. I do know one song that kind of counts backwards, and so you kind of want to see measure ending 9, then 8, then 7. But here we're saying they're all the same, so that's almost not important. This is the range. I guess I will accept that. I mean, these are almost a set of numbers, but if you say 9 through 7 and it says 7, 8, 9, I mean, you're going to encounter them in order. And so I don't think it matters. If it was lists of ranges, would that matter? I don't know. And the song I'm thinking of that kind of does backwards, you'd have separate endings for 9, 8, and 7 anyway. So they wouldn't run into this situation. Okay, so let's see if reversing the order is fine. Okay, so I think I will say we've got this case done. Okay. Let's load high. All right, and that's what we've done. All right. Make sure that's still good. All right. Well, we've been going a while. Let's take a break. I think we can, well, maybe we'll do these problems. Okay, I can accept that. That's easy. This one's a little more problematic. There's a way to turn this stuff off for particular lines, and maybe we'll do that. Okay. Yeah, let's take a break. We'll come back, fix this warning, and move on to the other lists of line numbers, lists of ending numbers, rather. All right, see you in about 3 or 4 minutes. All right, welcome back. So let's find how we get rid of these. I think we've done it once. Let's see if we can find that. No references. I want text for at. I think we put some sort of marker in, but maybe not. We're using this file. I think I'm willing to say that's not a message I want to deal with ever. I don't think I'll make this as a mistake. I think in our case, empty collections, I would normally do this, but in this case, the parser can't form that collection the way it wants, so I'm stuck with it. I think I'll just edit it here. Discouraged optional collection. So let's take that one out. All right, we'll do a clean build and a full build. Eliminate Swift lint warnings. Now, since we're in this section, I saw John Reed today mentioned you can set these up even more warnings. behaviors now. Well, better go find his tweet and see what he's really saying. Oh, thank you. Do I need the warning most of the time? That's a good question. But I will look and see if we did any. Well, let's just look for that. Yeah, we did. We've got a couple other places doing that. Oh, same one. I'm going to say this is. Yep. I'm going to say it happens enough in my context. I will just not worry about it. But thank you. I got to remember that little trick. I suppose I could put a comment on that SwiftLint one too. Oh, the reason is parser can't necessarily produce empty collections. Yeah. And I don't know, I probably should go project by project and assess these rules, but I'm willing to bend it a little bit. Okay. And let's check that in. And welcome. I see first time chat, so cool. All right. So now the situation we're working on is ranges, lists of ending numbers. So go to our input format and you can say 1, 3 or 1, 3, 5 through 7. So the ranges we just added are more tightly bound than the list of things. So although maybe that's not really significant here, but we're doing it that way. All right, but I do need to allow for lists of digits, which is going to make that expression thing even worse. Maybe we can. All right, I'm going to close the ones we don't need. Event, line parser. Okay. Boy, that almost. I almost want to build a new parser out of this thing. Okay. This one has a lot to it. Ugh. All right. Well, this thing then is going to, well, it's not so hard to extend it. Let's see. We do that with, there's an operator in our parser library that does it. Separated by. Okay, so it's sort of exponentiation. It lets us say a parser separated by another parser. So we can say the parser we have separated by comma, and that should be okay. So let's take all this and separate it by, and we're not going to keep the comma itself. Okay, so this allows digit, comma, and so on. Yeah, we've changed the type again. Oh, interesting. Does that really change the type? Well, it's a separated by. What is separated by? We got keep left. I would have thought. I would have thought we just need to get P1 out of this. It returns a parse result. P1 equals P2. We don't really have that case. P1, P2. Inputs are equal. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Sorry, what's this one? P1, P1? No. Separate P1, P2, where input equals input. Target is P1 target with an array of these. Okay. Separated by P left. Oh, it's an array of those. Okay. Keep left only yields an array of the original thing, which does make sense. Okay, so parser here, bar handler's got the wrong type. What it should be is an array of all this. And that is optional. I think it's that. Where's this print going? Right. Yeah, and this code's going to be out of whack because we've changed the complexity of this. Okay. Is that one gone? So it's an array of tuples. The tuples are character and an optional array of characters. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome to both of you. All right, so I'll give you a quick catch up here. We're working on a program to read musical input in the form of what they call ABC. And we've been doing, we've got basic repeats working. So you have a section of music that's repeated and you can give it an alternate ending. So the first time through, do this one, the second time through, do that one. You can also have what they call variant endings, where you have lists of these things or ranges of these things or both. And we just did ranges and we're trying to do lists. So we'll see what happens. Now, the trickiness that goes on here, it's this parser combinator library I'm using. It's really close to a grammar, like a grammar you might write for a compiler kind of thing. One or more, it's almost like regular expressions too, but it's recursive, so it's a little more powerful. You can have one or more digits followed by an optional range, which is match a dash and one or more digits. And then you can be separated. You can have those ranges separated by commas. And we're trying to make sure that the type of that is this pretty complicated nested thing, which I don't. Oh, do I have it right yet? I don't think I have it right yet. Cannot convert character array of character event to expected argument type. Now this expected argument type is complicated. That's the downside of this thing. The grammar part is very simple. Getting the semantic rules to know what type to work with. Okay, so this one is a tuple of array of characters, optional array of character to an array of event. Okay, array of event. Okay, good. You'll know some of these problems. And I don't know. I mean, I think once you get it all decoded, it's not bad, but you have to really dig in. Okay. And unfortunately, this stuff is practically all but unreadable. I mean, it works out if you work it all through, but they try and simplify it a little bit. So this is where I have to match on my argument list. Let's see. So this one, and it won't match parens for me. Okay. So it's an array of character. That part I got right. That's this first argument. Okay. Then it's an optional array. Oh, maybe my whole array is optional. Optional array inside it. Yeah, I think that's what it's telling me. This array is optional. So I had an optional on the outside around the tuple, and I think now it goes here. Yeah, that's better. And is it better down here? Yep. So this line was complaining, and now I've got the type right. But it breaks the interpretation of this thing because it's a totally different type structure here. And this is I would say this is kind of my upper limit for complexity. Maybe I should be drawing the limit sooner, but it's kind of three groups of arrays. They get nested in tuples as you form them, so that I'd love to just have it be a flat thing. But anyway, so this first character set, that is just a bunch of bar lines. So let's go to a test. Range missing, endings. Did I not write a test? I didn't. Okay, well, we'll have to do that too. Let's see. So here, when you have a bar line and then these ending numbers, it turns it into two events. It's a bar line by itself and then the ending numbers. Okay. I'll keep soothing. How long have I been coding in Swift? Kind of off and on for a few years, but never for anybody commercially. As to why I'm doing it in Swift, I'm running it as a Mac OS app, which, okay, let me comment these out. So it's convenient enough to do it. I guess the other ones I've been using in the last few years is, I guess, Kotlin, probably the most. Kotlin and Java, a little bit of C#. And I don't know. I enjoyed trying to learn my way around Swift. It's an interesting language. So let's try this for a moment. I just want to run it and show what I've got. Okay. But the application that we're creating, I intend it to be a desktop app for somebody. So it looks like this. I've got these things that can do inputs. Let's do a file input. Hopefully it's here. This one, I'm working with somebody who collects variations of tunes, and no scaling. They've got 39 variations, I think. Okay. And so this parsons code analysis is trying to get the shape of these things. And you can see this one's very similar up front. It's got a little bit of flat. It's a little bit different. Okay. And so these two are probably related. These two are probably too short to tell. This one's looking a little less like it. Those two are similar. I've got some that are just going down, like, oh, no scaling is deck the halls. Dun, 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 dun. It's going dun, 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 going down a lot and then goes bouncing around. This one just keeps going down. So, we can say some of these tunes are more similar. And my goal is, I've got this Parsons code. I'd like to do some automatic, I don't know what you call it, clustering, I guess would be the right word. That these ones that look very similar, I'd like them to cluster together, and the ones that are different look further apart, and then kind of, help whoever's investigating these things decide what to listen for. That's the thing I like with this Swift and the Swift UI. Swift UI is this newish package for user interfaces. And doing this was very simple. I originally did it as character, backslashes and forward slashes and stuff like that. And I brought in the graph package, and it was trivial to get it working. I spent more time ripping out the old stuff than putting in the new one. But you get different things. So we've been building this. I've been doing it for, a few hours a week for multiple weeks. So not a year, but a good chunk, half a year at least. And then I have various reports. So this one you can select a field and say, what are the key signatures in these 39 songs? Okay. They're kind of all over. I have one that plays a tune. I have another one that's kind of an interesting report. It takes them all and plots them all in one graph. And then you can kind of see what's which is sort of like the most common version of this. So bum 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 bum. I can see that there's a lot of variation, but there's a bunch of them that use the same kind of pattern here. This one had two that had equal weight, but I get a spectrum of these, but I can see the main or the most common pattern. I called it average. It's really mode, but mode means something different to musicians, so didn't want to fight the wording. Okay. I'm looking for ways to help a musician or a musicologist, maybe better, interpret blocks of these things. Like I have a book that has 198 versions of the folk song Barbara Allen. Okay. I'm never going to sit there long enough with a pencil to do that, but I could see doing these analyses and learning about it. So that's where I'm coming from. Now in here, this multiple ending thing is getting a little obscure. It's not a common thing in folk tunes. Like I tend to be analyzing, and my customer is analyzing, so, it's more covering the input formats, so I don't have to fight when things are different. Okay. But here we go. This stuff now, it's a tuple. So parentheses, one type and another type. Now I don't think, why is that range 0? Oh, barline. Okay. 0 picks up the initial ones. That's fine. Digits, bar lines and digits. Let's see what range. This is not range anymore. It's really ranges, I think. It should be an array. Yeah. It's the array of all these things. Yeah, I'll get it open sourced eventually. I want to get a few analyses in. I shouldn't even worry because, getting people's attention and open source is the tricky one. Yeah, I don't know. It's on GitHub. Let me pop over and check. I may have opened it there, but I'm not really working with anybody other than a musicologist who won't code anything. So, TuneStim, still private. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll make one of my episodes like, let's get this thing opened and fill in the stuff, I am getting enough on the analysis to be interesting, for someone using it, but it's kind of a niche market when you're talking people who care about multiple versions of old folk tunes. I mean, I know some like that, but it's not super common in the world. Okay, so range now. Let's see if I can get this thing right from the top. Range is the array. So this is where we said separated by commas. So this is lists of ranges. It really is list of ranges. Okay, and so I'm gonna change that name. List of ranges. Okay. And what we need to do, well, okay. Oh, I need to put a test in. Oh, let's get this thing semantically right. Let's undo that. Okay, so that was range. Let's do it this way. List of ranges equals that, and then range equals list of ranges sub 0. Okay, so if there is some, let's just grab that first one and go. I think that will make all my tests pass, and I need to write a new test for this new thing we're doing. Okay, so we've got that example. Let's take this. That's variation. That's a variation. That's a variation. Okay. So this test, how about with multiple ranges? Okay, we don't need the A. You know, I'm simplifying the music, the input format here. I'm really focused on these. So I got 1 through 3, and then, all right, thanks for joining. Hope I can catch you another time. Let's do 1, 3 through 5, and 7. Okay, and so these, thanks, 1, and it should be 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, and then 7. Okay, so we should see each of these endings in our list. This test is going to fail big time, probably with a syntax error because it doesn't know what commas are doing there. Yep. Okay, well, no syntax error, but it only found 1. Okay, so let's accept, oh, because I've already made the grammar accept it. Okay, so the grammar accepts it, but it doesn't know what to do with it when it gets it. All right. So list of ranges. Now I'm only doing the first one in the array, so that's not enough. All right. So what I need to do is compute this list. Well, okay. I think what I need to do is start with this numbers thing. Ending numbers. Right. Result is top level. Okay. Let's see. I got to find, well, I need to create an end. I'm going to have to walk through this list, okay, because it's the, 1, 3 through 5, 7, 3 different entries in the list. All right. So on the outside of it, I've got a, let's call it all numbers, type array of int, and we'll start empty. Okay. And so now I want to accumulate them. Right. I'm going to use it. All right, so list of ranges sub 0. I think I want to do list of ranges. I want to do a loop over them. Dot for each, I'm going to do something, and that's going to end down here. Okay. It's getting a little long. Okay. Now, each of these is a character array and an optional character array. So let's call it start array and end array in this. Okay, so this is my result numbers. I'm going to get list of ranges. Well, I don't think I need that. Okay, that's what I put in so my rest of my code is happy, but we'll have to compute range. Well, let's see what we got. What I called range there is list of ranges sub 0. Range is start array, end array. So let's see who uses that. Okay, what's result? I don't know. I'm maybe burying myself here a little. Okay, so this case is the first bar line, which is a bar line, maybe more than one, but it's a bunch of bar lines. This is all the numbers, which are optional, and this is the result. Okay, so in the end, we're going to put all numbers in here. Okay, and so this is start array. So we're going to get the digits from the start array. Okay. And if, I guess, I'm going to flip this around. If the number, well, if it doesn't equal a valid number, we don't want to do anything. What do we want to do? We want to, it's like I guess I just want to return. It's a for each, so return. Whatever I've accumulated so far is fine. If they don't have a valid number, okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. This, I think, goes away. We'll just return. Okay, so I want to make sure that these things are valid numbers. Okay, so I'm looking at the start array and the end array, both arrays of characters that should be digit characters. And I'm going to attempt to convert them. Oh, wait a minute. That's not right. Range.1. Okay, I guess if end array is nil, all right, so let's see, the type of end array should be, is that the only problem? Okay, type of end array should be optional array. Yes, good. Okay, so we're going to try and get the end range, and if not, we're going to skip out of this loop. Okay. We may change some of that. All right, then I'm going to try and convert it. Can I do this? Well, let's do it this way. Our end range digits is, let's make it, let's start it at start array. Okay. And then let's say if there is an end array, then we're going to do this. Okay, I think we're going to see why I build up these things. Okay, boy, we have other tests because I suspect I'm breaking one. If the range equals the end array, so if end array is not nil, okay, then we form a string, and then we're going to try and parse it. I guess this part. Let's say end range. End range. I don't think it's going to let me do that. If that is a valid number, maybe. Okay, then we're going to update end range digits. I'm kind of losing myself in these names. Okay, so we've got the first number. Let's call this start number. Okay. Okay, maybe I can make these sequential and make it a little better. Okay, so if end range is equal to end range array, let's do that. Okay. So if the second number is there, so if there's only a first number, I'm going to treat the start and end as the same. I guess I haven't said that. All right. So if the we'll default it to the start number, we'll check if there is an end range number, then let's do those. Maybe I should say characters. That this is end range characters. Okay, and if that comes out, sorry, if it doesn't, if the conversion fails, I'm going to leave how do I want to do this? Okay, so we've converted the first one. If the second one fails, I'm going to leave it defaulted to the first one. Okay, and if that's non-nil, well, no, I think I want a guard here. Okay, if it's not a valid number, then I'm going to say end range. Oh no, I don't need to do it that way. No, that's not going to work. Let's let end range number equal start range number to start with. let's say if equals this thing. Okay. If that is nil, I guess not equal nil, then end range number equals end range int. Gosh. Okay. Can I find start range? Start. Okay. Yikes. All right. We clearly have some work to do. Okay. Range equals end range number. Okay, that stuff we've done. Okay. Now we have two numbers, end range number and start range number. If there was any problem, they became equal. Okay. So now we're going to take start range number. If it's less than or equal to, we're going to go from start range number to end range number. Okay, and we've got the ending numbers. Well, really, that's... let's get out of this first, make it work. All numbers dot append contents of ending numbers. It doesn't help when these are called endings and it makes our starts and ends sound like starts and ends. All named numbers is a let constant. Well, that's not right, because we don't need an empty constant. Okay. Okay, we're going to try and make this work and then clean it. I feel like I'm working pretty hard to get here. Okay, so we've got all those pieces. We default to the start range number. We calculate the end range's int value. If it's not nil, then it worked out, and we'll make that the real end range number. Then we do the range and do the stuff. Okay. Now, like I said, I think I broke something along the way. Ending numbers, all numbers. So array of int. What are these? Ugh. Yeah, right. Is an array of int. Why is contents of a problem? Cannot assign value. Oh, is that a pen doesn't return anything? It does not. Okay. Range was never used. Yes, that's true. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, which test failed? Bar lines with endings ignores invalid numbers. Okay. That's one of the ones I was afraid I would mess up. Okay, so now if if the number, let's track through this case. So if a number came in that was ridiculously large, that doesn't make sense, that doesn't fit in an int, okay, we exit the loop. We didn't put anything in there, and exit the loop because it's returning from the for each. Is that correct? Did it put an ending event in there? Ending, it put an empty. Oh, wait. It put nothing in. Why did we expect? Oh, we have an empty, but it expected nothing. Okay. We have ending with nothing. Okay. This really is only if there are valid numbers in the ranges. If the numbers were invalid, then there's no reason to appending an ending here. So I guess if not all numbers is empty, then there's a reason to create an ending. If there are no valid numbers in range, we don't need to be this fancy. Okay. Let's hope that doesn't mess up somebody else. Okay, and that should be, sometimes you have to do a clean build to get these errors to go away. Yeah. Sometimes that's not even enough. Okay. I think there's a clear on here. Yeah. The line, I fixed the trailing white space, so I'm going to check it in anyway. Okay, so we support lists of ending numbers, including ranges. So it has the advantage of working. It is clunky. Now, I don't know if I can. Would be nice. Okay, I've got to simplify something here for sure. Okay, one thing I would like to do would just be peel this off and not worry about this first one and let it just be worried about this list of things. Excuse me. Let's see. So there's something going on with this pattern, right? It forms an array into a string and then gets the value back. And then if it's empty, I mean, would it make sense to default it to 1? You said it was 80 gazillion. I say, well, I'll treat it like ending 1. It's a little weird. I'd rather ignore it and do the ones I understand. But I'm trying to get this end range equals end array. Well, this one's different because it's got a default. Okay. Now this one is, I want an array with numbers in range. Okay, so let's see if we can. Oh, well, I also want to know, can I append these? Let's find Swift list append. No append. Oh, maybe array. Append element, insert element. Combining sequences. So I think a range is a sequence. Does that work? Okay, so let's try extracting a method for this. No. No. Oh, more junk. No. Okay, I'll copy that out. Let's make a little helper function. From an int to an int returns a range of int. If it's a return, then we can do this. Yeah, let's. If he's okay with it, I'm okay with it. From to. Otherwise, go from to from. Cannot convert closed range to range. We're not calling it, so there's no danger there. Okay, so let's take the range from start to end, regardless of direction. Make sure that's okay. Okay, so we extracted, well, we simplified range calculation extracted method to handle low to high or high to low. Okay, And I'm going to keep going here until I get this thing kind of readable. All right, so I've got an arrange and I extend it. Now this thing, I mean, this is almost saying what I need it to say, so I don't know. It's the other one that's ugly. I can inline this. That would probably be an improvement. I think it's kind of idiomatic enough that I could say I'm good with that. Whoops. String of start array. Okay, so if we can find a start number, then we'll use it. Otherwise, we just get out. And then we're going to look for an end number. And part of the problem is this argument is optional, so it's a little more complicated to get to it. And maybe I should let that be. I don't know if I have to do this. I don't think this is accomplishing anything. End array can be empty. It's optional, so it could be missing. If it is, end range characters equals end range. Okay, end array is optional array characters, right? Okay, so if it's nil, maybe I can do that here. If it's nil, let's do this. Let end range is end array. If that's nil, then let's use start array. End range characters. I think that could be this. Have I done the same thing? Okay. End range character, if it's got an array to work with, it uses it. Otherwise, it uses the start array. End range number, start range number. I don't think we need this. Okay, end range int. If it converts end range characters, if it fails to convert, okay, I think this is end range number. Equals int. Otherwise, we'll use start. think that's somewhat better. Okay, so, all right. So what we have is the end range characters. End array could be an empty list of characters. If it's optional. So if it's not there, we're going to use start array. Then we're going to try and convert it. If it's in range, if it's a normal integer, then those characters get used and it turns into an int. If for some reason you can't convert it, like maybe it said 1 dash 999999999, and it just doesn't make any sense, we're just going to turn it back into a 1 and let it go. And then we'll append these ranges. Okay, assuming this works, I'm a lot happier. It kind of covers both situations, empty array or illegal array, and defaults it to the start numbers regardless. Okay. That should be on a new line. Good. Now, I think Barline handler is producing an array of events. All right. So I think we cleaned that up enough. There feels like I could do something else on the parsing side, though. Like I could somehow make a semantic routine that only dealt with this part and not mix in the barline handler stuff. I don't know. Barline. Where's barline show up? Oh, down the bottom. Okay. Notes, fields, bar lines. Yeah, they're all in there. They all return arrays of stuff, and we can just flat map it. Okay. All right. So improve number parsing and error handling for bar line handler. Okay, now what I don't know, and I suspect is not working. So the way this system works, you have the parser that reads this input file format. It produces an event array. Like we just built some events. There's some node events. We put a barline event here. And then we added in ending events if they were necessary. Okay, so you get all these events, and then we convert them with EventToParts that kind of turns them from parser-oriented events to semantic structures in our music process. Okay, so you can almost see it in the structure of this. ABC parser does all that stuff, and then EventToParts comes in and produces real domain objects. There are pieces of domain objects in here, but the full domain object is represented outside the parser. Now, I don't know why that is here. Oh, that's a test thing. Okay, sorry. Here's the domain. Okay, so the one we've been working on is note line parser. Deals with one line of notes and produces, in our case, it was bar lines and endings. Okay. Oh. And the thing I'm wondering, what does EventToParts do with these endings? Okay. I got a feeling it doesn't do it. Okay. So endings gets a list of numbers, array events. Okay, if it has numbered endings, how do you know? I guess we've been accumulating that. Yeah, so we know if we have numbered endings. If it doesn't, right, we deal with repeat ends and all that stuff. But this is the one that counts. If it has numbered endings, we're going to put them. Endings.put last numbers. Let's see if this thing looks right. No. Okay, so we did the front end, the part or the handle the input. We got it into events that say ending 1, ending 2, ending 3, and that event to parts thing says, okay, I see ending 1. I see the list ending 1, 2, 3 should all be mapped to part, and then we just took the first thing off the list and not all of them. Okay, I don't think it's hard, but we're gonna have to do it. All right, and event to parts, I believe our test is going to be in here. Okay, has numbered endings, double bar line. Let's see what that is. Okay, one of these things. Okay, so this is really at the very end. We put all those endings once we figured out what they are. We got all the measures for them. Okay, and I guess what that means is we're going to have a ending and a bar line. Okay, so let's go to that test. We were looking. I mean, this is like the structure we need. Okay, so let's borrow that. Event to parts tests. There we are. Okay. So we want to test endings. Let's see what we have. Endings. Okay, applies number endings. Yeah, it's got the simple numbering. All right. Let's put our. Well, let's create a new one. Okay, this is more like input. It's an array of events. It's got a bar line, endings 1, 3, 4, 5, 7. That's what our ranges convert before it gets here. So I'm just going to say lists. It's got a note, and then let's put a double bar line here just to make sure we're legit. Okay. And what we expect, well, we got tune state. We'll need that. It doesn't do much, but we'll need it. All right. And then the conversion. Okay, so the test is really, do you get the right parts given a list of these things? And I don't even need all this stuff here. I know I get a list of numbers. I just need to make sure those two are there. Okay, parts, events. Oh, this is input. I guess I can call it events. Okay, that's that. Now let's make sure it's right. Okay. It might make sense to do this on the front. We did it in the other one. It establishes that it really is a repeat block. Okay, and this one, where'd that event bar line thing go? Bar line, yeah, that that one should be okay. Let's use this. That's more of an ending one. That's probably more legitimate. Okay. So now we can see the A part and the C part. Okay, so if we get... Well, this is really saying if you run this thing, what happens? And I guess it's a little ambiguous. Part A, measure count for ABAC. Let's just do 1 and 2. Okay, so it should be AB, AB. All right, flat map, measure that. A, B, A. This should be B. Okay. I don't expect this to pass because we don't do anything. I expect it to get AB, so let's make sure that happens. Okay, so we got 2 AB. All right, so that's what we expect. We've got some cleanup to do in here, don't we? Measures. Okay. So EventToParts, this put is not putting everything in. All right, so endings, I don't think we have ending tests per se. They're covered by this. Okay. We only look at the first number. We should do this for every number. Okay, so numbers dot for each, and then not numbers dot first, but $0, meaning each number as it comes, set that number, part number in there. Okay, and that should do it. Oh, 2 failures. Okay, I should fix, oh, they're both in the same test. Okay, good. Good. All right. So that covers, we've got the input side, we've got the convert from input to semantic side, so that should all be fine. We already handle endings with varieties, and that doesn't matter. Now, we don't have a lot of time, but the one thing I don't think we've addressed is what if it had been 1, 3 here? Okay, does that mean anything? And I don't know what we do there. But let's get this part cleaned up first. We got parts A measures, flat map, map. Parts A measures, flat map, map. Parts A measures, flat map, map. Actual map. Yeah. Actual map. What's actual? Parts A measures. Okay. Let's take a part and do that. Okay, so this is well, let's call it the note string or note string array. I don't know. It's getting a little bit typey, isn't it? It's, what is it? It's the list of, well, it's kind of the list of all notes. Maybe notes for, and let it be string on its own. Okay, so let's make a helper function. I guess here's probably okay. Private func notes for, and this is part name of character, and it returns array of string. Okay, nobody needs that yet. All right, and then what I want to do is this. Parts, part name, measures, and then we got to get all this stuff. Flat map. Okay. Can't find parts. Oh, I guess we need that too. Parts. Okay. Notes for that. All right, so this well, let's do notes for parts A. This test should pass. I don't need this. Actually, I would say this assert is redundant because, well, is it? I mean, if this has 4 strings in it, it's not likely to be wrong. I mean, check parts and count. Let's make a check function. Okay, parts that int throws. I guess it doesn't need to throw in here. Okay. Let's do these 2 things. Oh, expected measure and expected notes, I guess. Okay, actual is this. I'm going to call that measures is parts of part name. It's measures, and this is measures. Count of 4, and we'll assert note 4. This is part name. This is expected notes. Okay, so check repeats. Give it the parts, the part name, the expected measure count. Okay. Check repeats. Parts A. The measure count is 4, and the expected notes are these guys. Oops. Yeah, I thought that would be a little much. Okay. All right, the A part should have 6, and they should be these. Oops, that should come after. Oh no, it should come before here. Oh, he thinks that's too long too. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. A part, 2 measures, and the measures have these notes. And I'm checking both notes and measures. Even though the measure count matches the note count, it wouldn't necessarily have to. I don't think it would really work if it didn't, but measure count is 4. All right. From up here, that should be checked. Okay, fine. All right. So we cleaned up tests with a helper method, helper check method. And I do that pretty often, define these little check methods that make the tests with common stuff pull it out. And I think it ends up being a better test for it. Tune state, I almost could inline that. More than almost. That you can have some running state across a tune section or something, so that's where that comes from. But getting this thing minimized, when I don't care about it like that, I think is worth it. Okay, should be no change. All right, so we did the parse lists. Wasn't horrible. All right, we still have one more question though. What if there are gaps? Okay, so if we had one that was 1, 3 to 5, and the other one was 2, and nobody did 4, like what should happen? Okay, so we'll deal with that. And I'm not quite convinced. Well, we might be okay. I think we'll find the biggest number and then generate everything up to there. If it doesn't see a number, we probably should use variant 1, I guess. I don't know. All right. This is a good place to stop. We got a lot done on these variants, so I'm pretty happy there. It's still, the parsing stuff's still a little awkward to me, and maybe there's some more, I don't know, a little more factoring on the grammar might pay off. But we have what we want for now. We'll pick up tomorrow, take a look at these gaps and make sure that we work in real situations. And then I'm not sure what's next. I think we'll probably try real input off the internet, from the internet. Just say, I had these examples, Duck River, like I could take this is the input for that. I could take that chunk and include all these copies and make sure everything there parses. I don't see anything that would be a problem. I don't know what comma 3 means there. That could be an error. Yeah, no, there's more of them. Okay. Means something. All right, but we'll take real songs like this off of arbitrary pages off the internet and see what they look like when we get them in, make sure our parser is happy with them. Okay, thanks very much for joining today. Next time is tomorrow, Tuesday, 1 to 3:30 p.m. 2 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, or 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC. It's a little shifted from the U.S. time change. I know England's and maybe some others are coming, so there may be a shift next week for you, depending how things are. Unless it was this last weekend, in which case you're already there. All right. Thanks for joining. Take care. Bye-bye.